Okay, it's time for the Doku Doku no Mi, but I'm going to call it by the Japanese name, and here's why. The English name is the Venom fruit, but technically he is both poison and venom, so it kind of cancels out either way, so the Japanese name is just a more accurate determination of what this fruit actually does. Because poison and venom are technically two different things. That's the science side of me coming out. The Doku Doku no Mi is one of those few paramecia fruits that actually can mimic a Logia. Not exactly, but it makes you think it's a Logia at first. This fruit allows you to produce poison, but because you can coat yourself in the poison because you're now immune to poison, you look like you're a Logia user when really you're not. While at first producing poison doesn't seem to lend itself to a very offensive type of capabilities, with enough training you can pretty much just make shapes out of it and just launch it at people. One of these things is to make a giant Hydra and just attack people. They get hit with the poison, and then they're now sickened, and eventually could die depending on what poison you hit them with, since you have control over all poisons, at least the ones that you know of. Since you're immune to the poison, you can also make a tube and, like, jet yourself across an area with it to move really fast, so I thought that was kind of cool. Like a liquid. You're not just limited to liquid poisons either, you can also make gaseous poisons like chloroform and chlorine, those kind of things. Which would beg the question, you might be able to just ignite them as well to create an explosion, because those are technically ignitable. You can also create new poisons that are even more potent than others, so much so that they can actually affect inorganic materials like stone and stuff, and almost like it's an infection spreading, which is still pretty cool. Giving yourself the armor also allows you to pretty much be immune to physical attacks, because nobody's gonna want to punch that, because then if they do, they're gonna get poisoned as well, so you're pretty tanky as it is. Oh yeah, since you can produce poison, you're also immune to poison, so you're able to ingest poisonous objects and not suffer the ill side effects of whatever poison you just ingested, except your body still can't process them, which causes you, which is this guy in particular, to have very bad diarrhea, because he likes to season his food with poisons because he likes the way it tastes. One Piece, am I right? This fruit does actually have a lot of weaknesses, though, that are compensated for. But anyway, one of the weaknesses is that inorganic objects aren't really affected by a lot of the poisons because they're inorganic, and poison and venom can only really affect animate objects, or organic objects at least. But it also functions as an acid sometimes, or it can dissolve doors and stuff, so I'm not really sure where they went with that one. I'm kind of confused on if this was actually an acid fruit, too. Also, any doctor worth their salt would be able to find an antibody for, poisons that this guy could create. But if you mix a lot of poisons together, making that antibody is a lot harder. So that's kind of one of the strengths and weaknesses of this fruit.